There's a moment, a tiny, invisible moment, that decides the quality of your entire life. It's not the moment someone disrespects you. It's not the moment life becomes unfair. It's not the moment someone cuts you off, snaps at you, or questions you. It's the moment right after that, the moment where your emotional survival instincts wake up, and you choose who you're going to be. That's the moment that separates the reactive from the powerful, the fragile from the unshakable, the easily controlled from the emotionally sovereign. Most people never see that moment. They live their entire lives assuming anger is automatic, like weather inside their body that cannot be changed. But the truth? Nothing controls you unless you allow it into your nervous system. And today, you're about to learn how never to let anything in that doesn't belong. Welcome to Never Get Angry. Master Emotional Control. An audiobook about peace as a superpower, self-control as a shield, and the unbreakable calm of someone who refuses to let the world steal their inner balance. If anything in the next few chapters resonates with you, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, who would I become if nothing could shake me? Because that's exactly who you're about to meet. The version of you that anger can't reach anymore. If something hits you deeply, don't forget to hit like or comment what line hit hardest. That engagement keeps this message alive for more people who need it. Chapter 1. The lie you've believed your entire life. Let's begin with a difficult truth. You were trained to believe anger is normal. Worse, you were taught it's righteous, that it's proof you care, proof you're not weak, proof you're standing up for yourself. But anger doesn't protect your boundaries. It exposes them. Remember, anyone who knows how to provoke you knows how to control you. Think about that. If someone can pull a string and make you explode, who really has the power? You or the person who knows where that string is? Here's the truth most people will never accept. Your anger is not your strength. Your calm is. Anger feels powerful, but it makes you powerless. Calm feels passive, but it's the highest form of emotional dominance. A storm is loud. A mountain is silent. Which one do you trust more? Which one do you want to be? Chapter 2. What anger really is and why it feels so intense. Anger isn't a primary emotion. It's never the first thing you feel. Anger is the bodyguard. It shows up loud, aggressive, and explosive, but only to protect the real emotion underneath. Under every outburst is something much quieter. Hurt, fear, shame, embarrassment, loss of control. The feeling you weren't seen, heard, or valued. Anger is just the mask. But here's the dangerous part. Once anger becomes the spokesperson for all your deeper emotions, you lose the ability to communicate authentically. You argue instead of expressing. You defend instead of sharing. You fight instead of healing. The moment you learn this one thing, your entire emotional life changes. Anger is not truth. It's a reaction to a truth you're not ready to admit. Pause this audiobook for 10 seconds and think, what was the last thing I got angry about? And what emotion was I hiding underneath? That question alone can save marriages, friendships, and careers. Because when you stop talking through anger, you finally start talking through what's real. Chapter 3. The 90-second secret for your entire life. You've believed anger lasts hours, maybe days, but biologically, the physical chemical surge of anger lasts 90 seconds. That's it. 90 seconds of stress hormones, 90 seconds of internal fire, 90 seconds of survival mode. After that, the emotion doesn't continue. You continue it. You replay the event. You repeat the story. You imagine the argument you should have won. You rehearse revenge. You reinforce the narrative of being wronged. You feed the fire that would otherwise burn out on its own. In other words, the event lasts 90 seconds. The suffering lasts as long as you feed it. This audiobook will teach you how to stop feeding it, how to cut off the fuel, how to let the emotion flush out naturally instead of recycling it with your mind. Imagine living the rest of your life with anger lasting seconds, not hours. Imagine an argument that ends before it begins. Imagine someone insulting you and your body simply not responding. This isn't fantasy. This is emotional training, and you're about to learn exactly how to do it. Chapter 4. The choice point. Between a trigger and your response, there is a tiny gap. A fraction of a second, a doorway. A micro moment where your entire future is decided. Most people never see this gap. Their reactions are instant, automatic, programmed. But emotionally powerful people, they live inside that space. They stretch it. They expand it. They build a home inside that moment of choice. That's why they seem calm under pressure. Why nothing rattles them. Why they don't snap, break, or crumble. Because they don't react. They choose. Imagine this moment like a movie scene. Someone insults you. Your body fires up. Your mind prepares to snap back. But instead, you take a breath. You pause. You observe the feeling instead of becoming it. And in that instant, you ask, who do I want to be right now? Not, how dare they? Not, what's wrong with them? Not, I need to respond. Just, who do I want to be? The moment you ask that question, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. The trigger loses its power. The other person is no longer in control. The situation no longer defines you. You define you. That's emotional mastery. Before we continue, I want to say, my dear friend, if you are watching this video, then you are definitely on the right track. Like, subscribe, and write in the comments which topic or problem interests you the most. Chapter 5. The observer self inside you. There are two versions. The one who reacts, and the one who notices. The reactive self is loud. It's quick, it's emotional, it's dramatic. The observer self is quiet, present, neutral, wise. When someone triggers you, your reactive self wants revenge. Your observer self simply says, I notice anger arising. That's it, not, I am angry, but I notice anger. The moment you say this, something extraordinary happens. You separate the emotion from your identity. Anger becomes something you're experiencing, not something you are. This alone dissolves 70% of your emotional intensity. Try it right now. Say in your mind, I notice my breath. I notice my thoughts. I notice tension. That calm, observing presence, that's who you truly are. And when that part of you becomes the one who handles conflict, your life transforms. Chapter 6. The art of reframing, the skill that makes you unbreakable. If you want to master emotional control, you must master one skill. Remember, reframing. Reframing is the ability to take the same situation, the same words, the same trigger, and assign a different meaning to it. Most people let the world choose meaning for them. Emotionally powerful people choose it for themselves. Let me show you how deep this goes. Someone says something disrespectful to you. Your old reaction might be, they're attacking me. They think I'm weak. I need to defend myself. But reframing sounds like this. They're projecting their own insecurity. They're speaking from fear, not strength. This has nothing to do with me. Feel the difference. The event didn't change. The words didn't change. The situation didn't change. Only the meaning changed. And because meaning changed, your emotion changed. This is how people become unshakable. Not by avoiding conflict, but by interpreting conflict through power, not pain. There is a line you must memorize. One that will save you from 90% of emotional battles. People don't see you as you are. They see you as they are. Once you understand that, the world stops feeling like a personal attack. And suddenly, you don't get angry. You just understand. Chapter 7. How to stop caring. What people think. Do you know what most anger really is? It's fear disguised as strength. Fear of disrespect. Fear of humiliation. Fear of being seen as weak. Fear of losing control. Fear of a reputation being damaged. Anger is the emotion you use when you're terrified of what someone might think of you. But here's the truth. You can't be controlled by opinions you don't value. And most opinions that anger you are opinions from people who don't even matter in your life. Think about the last time you were upset by someone's words. Would you take life advice from them? Would you trust them with your deepest fears? Would you hand them your goals, your dreams, your future? If the answer is no, why give them emotional power? One of the greatest wealths in life is inner peace, and you lose it every time you let the wrong voice inside your mind. From this point forward, ask yourself, does this person have the emotional or moral authority to influence my state? If the answer is no, then so is your anger. Reclaim your energy. Reclaim your mind. Reclaim your power. Chapter 8. The emotional triggers you must deactivate. You can't master anger until you know what triggers it. Your triggers are not weaknesses. They are unresolved parts of you that still want protection. Let's identify the most common ones. 1. Feeling disrespected. This is the biggest one for most people, but anger isn't the response. Clarity is. When you fear disrespect, you react to defend your ego rather than your truth. Emotionally powerful people do the opposite. They don't defend their ego. They defend their peace. 2. Feeling ignored or overlooked. This one stings because it touches abandonment, childhood wounds, and the hunger to be valued. But here's the reframe. Being overlooked frees you from the expectations of others and gives you room to build quietly. The world sees results, not announcements. 3. Receiving criticism. Most people explode at criticism because they confuse criticism with judgment. But mature people understand criticism can be information, and even when it's not, it's insight into someone else's emotional state, not your worth. 4. Losing control. Anger is often a desperate attempt to regain control in a situation where you feel powerless, but true control is internal, not external. You don't need to control situations. You need to control your reactions to them. And when you can do that, everything changes. Chapter 9. The Rule of Emotional Distance. Here is one of the most powerful emotional tools you will ever learn. Create mental distance before emotional engagement. Do not respond in real time. Do not react at the speed of your feelings. Do not let people pull you into their emotional timeline. Instead, pause. Step back. Detach. Emotional distance is not running away. It is evaluating without drowning. Imagine you're standing in front of a burning fire. When you're too close, the heat controls you. Step back 2 feet, and the fire looks different. Step back 10 feet, and you finally see the whole picture. This rule applies everywhere. Arguments, work conflicts, family drama, relationship misunderstandings, social media, strangers, insults, jealousy, insecurity, fear. Distance creates clarity, clarity creates calm, and calm creates mastery. Remember, when you react, you are controlled. When you respond, you are in control. When you refuse to engage, you are powerful. Chapter 10. The Law of Emotional Economy. There's a cost to every emotional reaction you give. A cost in energy, a cost in time, a cost in peace, a cost in momentum, a cost in confidence. And when you keep paying these costs, you eventually become emotionally bankrupt. This is why emotionally strong people look cold from the outside. They're not cold. They are economical. They invest their emotions where there is return, not where there is chaos. Imagine treating your emotional responses like money. Would you spend $1,000 worth of energy on a $2 insult? Would you waste your entire day for a moment of irritation? Would you give your inner peace to someone who won't even remember the conversation tomorrow? You see the madness? Your anger has been making others rich with your energy, while making you poor in spirit. From now on, remember, not every situation deserves your reaction. Not every comment deserves your attention. Not every person deserves your emotional access. You guard your bank account. Guard your peace with even more intensity. Chapter 11. The Power of Neutrality. There is a state of mind that almost no one teaches, yet it is the foundation of emotional mastery. It's called neutrality. Neutrality is not being passive. It is not being numb. It is not being indifferent. Neutrality means, I choose not to label this moment as good or bad, threat or attack, pain or insult. Neutrality is a pause between stimulus and response, a space most people never learn to protect. Think about it. Something happens, a comment, a tone, a mistake, a delay, a rejection, an inconvenience. Most people instantly attach emotion to it. This is bad. This is disrespect. This is personal. This is unfair. But what if you didn't label it? What if you simply observed it? What if, for the first time in your life, you allowed an event to simply be an event before giving it any emotional meaning? That is neutrality. And neutrality is powerful because it gives you time to think. It gives your emotions time to cool. It stops you from reacting out of fear or ego. It prevents other people from controlling your behavior. It protects your inner peace before your mind even knows it's in danger. Remember, neutrality is emotional bulletproofing. When you are neutral, nothing hits you the way it used to. Chapter 12. The 3-second rule for emotional dominance. Here is a technique that will change your life instantly. The 3-second rule. When something triggers you, pause, breathe, detach. 3 seconds of stillness can undo 30 years of emotional conditioning. Here's why it works. 1. The brain needs a brief pause to shift from emotional to logical thinking. That pause switches you from reacting to responding. 2. Anger loses 80% of its power if you don't feed it immediately. Anger is momentum-based. If you don't push the first domino, the chain never starts. 3. The pause allows alternative interpretations to appear. What if they're stressed? What if they didn't mean it that way? What if this isn't an attack? What if this is feedback? 3 seconds is all it takes for your intelligence to wake up before your emotions take over. Practice it today. Practice it right now. Practice it every time something irritates you. 3 seconds. That's your weapon. Chapter 13. The one thing you must let go. Of every emotionally strong person on earth has learned one essential truth. You don't need to be understood. You need to be in control of yourself. Anger comes from a desperate desire to explain yourself, prove yourself, defend yourself, justify yourself, or correct someone's misunderstanding of you. But listen closely. People who want to misunderstand you won't understand you even if you explain it 1,000 times. People acting from insecurity won't suddenly become objective. People projecting their own issues onto you aren't looking for clarity. They're looking for emotional validation. And angry people don't want your point. They want your reaction. Here is the liberating truth. You don't owe anyone emotional access. You don't owe anyone explanations. You don't owe anyone justification. You don't owe anyone your peace as a sacrifice for their comfort. When you realize this, you stop getting angry. Because you stop trying to manage other people's minds. Emotional freedom begins the moment you stop needing people to agree with you. Chapter 14. How to reprogram your automatic emotions. Anger is not a conscious decision. It is an automatic program your brain has rehearsed for years, so you must replace the program. Here is the blueprint. Step 1. Awareness. Catch the anger rising. Name it. Observe it. This is the beginning of anger. Naming it separates you from it. Step 2. Interruption. Do something physical or mental to break the pattern. Take a slow breath, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, look away, count backwards, touch something cold, take 1 step back. This disrupts the old pathway. Step 3. Replacement. Insert the response you want to become your new default. Calm, neutrality, silence, curiosity, detachment, understanding, or sometimes nothing at all. This is how emotional rewiring works. You don't remove the old response. You overwrite it. And the more you repeat it, the faster your brain learns. This is the new way we respond. Emotional mastery is a skill, not a miracle. Chapter 15. The calm person becomes the leader. There is a hidden advantage to mastering your anger that no one talks about. The calmest person in the room automatically becomes the leader. People trust calm people. People follow calm people. People confide in calm people. People respect calm people. People listen to calm people. Not because calm is passive, but because calm is rare. Think about the leaders you admire. They are not the ones who yell, threaten, explode, or panic. They are the ones who maintain composure when everyone else loses it. Calm is authority. Calm is confidence. Calm is maturity. Calm is intelligence. Calm is strength. When you learn to stay calm when others expect you to break, they start to see you differently. They trust your judgment. They value your presence. They rely on your stability. They come to you for guidance. Control yourself, and the world naturally follows your direction. Please like and subscribe if you want a better future. A better future for your children, your family, and yourself. It's very difficult to achieve success today, but I'm sure you'll succeed. All you have to do is learn and discover new things. Chapter 16. The secret of not letting people affect you. Here is a truth you must internalize completely. No one can manipulate you unless you react. They raise their voice. You stay calm. They insult you. You remain silent or neutral. They try to provoke you. You don't bite. They try to guilt-trip you. You don't collapse. They try to intimidate you. You hold your ground. They try to pull you into drama. You stay above it. Emotional manipulation requires fuel. Your reaction is the fuel. Remove it, and the manipulation collapses. This is why calm people seem impossible to control. Not because they are emotionless, but because they refuse to give away their emotional leverage. Your silence is power. Your calm is power. Your restraint is power. You don't ignore people because you're weak. You ignore them because you refuse to be emotionally hijacked. This is emotional freedom at its highest level. And now, you're ready for the next phase. The deeper phase. The level where emotional mastery becomes instinct and nothing external can disturb your internal world. Chapter 17. When silence speaks louder than anger. There will come a moment in your life when you realize something extraordinary. Remember, silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. It is the art of letting people reveal themselves without your interference. Because here's the truth. When you stay calm and silent, people show you their emotional maturity, their respect for you, their insecurity, their level of self-control, their intentions, their true character. You learn more by listening than reacting. You learn more by observing than explaining. You learn more by staying centered than getting pulled in. Silence exposes people more effectively than anger ever will. Because when you remove your reaction, their behavior stands alone, and that is when masks fall off. Chapter 18. The self-control. Triangle to master emotional control. You must strengthen 3 skills. 1. Control your attention. What you focus on expands. If you focus on the insult, the emotion grows. If you focus on your breath, the calm grows. Your attention is your steering wheel. 2. Control your interpretation. Nothing can anger you without your interpretation. You create the meaning. You decide how deep it cuts. You choose the story. Change the story. You change the emotion. 3. Control your response. This is the behavior, the visible part of your self-control. People judge you by your responses, not your emotions. Master the triangle, and you master emotional power. Chapter 19. Why emotionally strong? People feel less attached. Anger comes from attachment. Attachment to being right, being respected, being understood, being validated, being liked, being in control. But emotionally strong people have learned one truth. You don't need every battle. You only need the battles that build you. Most arguments don't matter. Most comments don't matter. Most opinions don't matter. Most reactions don't matter. The less you attach your identity to random moments, the less they can control you. You become light. You become calm. You become untouchable. Not because you don't care, but because you understand what truly matters. And most of the things you used to get angry about, they were never worth your peace. Chapter 20. The Rule of Zero Expectations. Expectations fuel anger. You expected loyalty, they didn't give it. You expected respect, they didn't show it. You expected gratitude, they didn't express it. You expected maturity, they didn't have it. But here's what the wise understand. Your expectations have nothing to do with reality. They only exist in your mind. The lower your expectations of people, the less they can disappoint you. This doesn't mean expecting the worst. It means expecting nothing, so every kindness becomes a bonus, not a requirement. Zero expectations. Maximum peace. Chapter 21. How to master non-reactive communication. Here is a technique used by negotiators, leaders, and emotionally elite individuals. Respond without emotion. Answer without tension. Speak without attachment. It looks like this. Someone insults you? You reply calmly, "I hear you." Someone raises their voice. You lower yours. Someone accuses you. You ask, "What makes you say that?" Someone tries to bait you. You say, "Noted." Someone expects a reaction. You give none. This is emotional judo. This is turning aggression into air. This is removing the opponent's leverage without fighting back. When people can't trigger you, they lose the power they thought they had over you. And sometimes, watching someone get confused because you didn't react is the most powerful feeling in the world. Chapter 22. The secret advantage of observers. There are two types of people. Reactors, who jump with every emotion. Observers, who watch, think, and choose. Reactors are slaves to their internal world. Observers are masters of it. Reactors respond immediately, emotionally, and instinctively. Observers respond thoughtfully, intentionally, and strategically. Here's why observers win. 1. They see patterns others miss. Emotion clouds vision. Calmness clarifies it. 2. They notice motives behind behavior. Anger blocks understanding. Observation reveals truth. 3. They choose responses instead of falling into them. This is how emotional intelligence is built. 4. They stay grounded even when others collapse. This makes them leaders during chaos. 5. They never reveal their emotional weaknesses. Because they don't perform their emotions, they process them internally. Be the observer. It's the fastest path to emotional mastery. Chapter 23. When someone disrespects you. Let's address a truth most motivational content avoids. Not everyone deserves access to you, and not everyone deserves an emotional reaction from you. When someone disrespects you, don't argue, don't fight, don't defend, don't justify, don't try to change their mind. Instead, remember, set boundaries, withdraw your energy, maintain calm, and move with intention. People who stay calm are far more intimidating than people who lose control. Because disrespect is often an attempt to pull you down to their emotional level. If you refuse to descend, they lose the battle before it begins. Chapter 24. Emotional immunity. How to stop taking things personally. You become untouchable the moment you realize what people say about you is a reflection of their psychology, not your reality. Listen closely. A confident person won't shame you. A secure person won't insult you. A happy person won't attack you. A mentally healthy person won't mock you. A peaceful person won't provoke you. Angry people are projecting anger. Insecure people are projecting insecurity. Fearful people are projecting fear. Judgmental people are projecting judgment. Jealous people are projecting scarcity. It has nothing to do with you. Emotional immunity begins the moment you stop absorbing other people's emotional garbage. It's theirs, not yours. Chapter 25. The moment you stop playing their game. There is a moment in your emotional evolution that changes everything. The moment you realize you no longer need to win. You don't need to win the argument. You don't need to win the debate. You don't need to win the reaction. You don't need to win the emotional battle. You don't need to win their approval. You win simply by refusing to play. That moment is emotional independence, because anger thrives on competition, but peace thrives on withdrawal. Walk away from anything that steals your peace. Watch how your life transforms. Chapter 26. The emotional warrior within you. There is a version of you that never gets triggered by pettiness. A version of you that doesn't take insults personally. A version of you that moves with intention, thinks before speaking, and stays unshaken in the middle of chaos. That version of you already exists. It has always existed. It just gets buried under overthinking, old emotional wounds, fear of conflict, learned helplessness, habitual reactions, lack of self-awareness. But the moment you begin choosing calm over chaos, your emotional warrior begins to awaken. Not a warrior who fights with anger, but a warrior who fights through clarity. A warrior who has mastered the battlefield of the mind can master any battlefield in life. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to become emotionally unshakable. Dear viewer, please write in the comments what interested you most in the video. This will help us improve our videos. Chapter 27. Emotional self-mastery is a daily practice. Just like physical strength, emotional strength must be trained consistently. Here are the practices of people who never get angry easily. 1. They journal their triggers because patterns become easy to delete when you can see them. 2. They take responsibility for their reactions. Not everything is your fault, but your response is always your responsibility. 3. They pause before speaking. A 2-second pause can protect you from 2 months of damage. 4. They practice non-reactive breathing, slow breath, relaxed shoulders, grounded posture. The body is the steering wheel of the mind. 5. They protect their environments. Toxic people create chaotic emotions. Controlled environments create controlled minds. 6. They detach emotionally from outcomes. Attachment creates anger. Detachment creates power. 7. They choose peace over ego every single day. This is not an overnight transformation. It is a lifestyle. And every day you choose peace, you add a brick to the foundation of your emotional power. Before we end, if this audiobook transformed something inside you, if even one sentence hit you hard, I want to know, what part changed you the most? What lesson are you taking forward? What topic should we create next? Your feedback shapes the next audiobook. Your requests guide the next journey. Thank you for listening. Thank you for growing. And thank you for choosing peace in a world that wants you reactive. Your calm is your power. Guard it, build it, live it.